Alright, what is going on, guys? Today I want to talk to you all about the 1v1 duels in Overwatch, the new arcade mode that I cannot stop playing because it is the most fun I have had in Overwatch since it came out, and then since competitive came out. But we're going to talk today about some tips that you all could use in order to get that upper hand or the advantage on your enemy or anything along those lines. Basically, a few things that you might not have known and or thought about in order to get that win. Something that can actually benefit you. Okay, and for instance, everybody has a character that they main, and if you don't, it's probably because you either suck at balls or you play every single character, and I commend that because I play every single character, but I also main Tracer. Like, I have been playing Reinhardt out the ass, Hanzo out the ass. Ana is probably my favorite character. Pharah I'm not too good at, but that's why we're going to be sitting here talking about these other characters, alright? So if you come across the character that you main, for me, that is Tracer, that gives me the benefit compared to the other player. Tracer is fairly easy to play, but if you do not know how to play her, you can find yourself in the fucking dumps in a heartbeat, okay? I love this character to death, and I cannot say that enough. I think I have only ever lost one match as Tracer, and that was my own fucking fault. That was my own stupidity. I recalled a little too soon, and he got the upper hand from that, because when you recall, you get your health back. If you recall too soon, you can potentially wind up in a situation where obviously you can't heal, and they can, so they'll recall and they'll get their health back, and they'll put themselves in a position where they can flank you, or, you know, it's all about timing with Tracer. And all I can say is, if you're not good with Tracer, please do not try and main Tracer. It takes a while to get good at this character, and I know that most people will think I'm lying, but that's the truth. Tracer is just one of those characters that you're good at or you're not good at, and I just so happen to be fucking amazing at Tracer, and I love her. But let's take a look at Widowmaker. Widowmaker is one of the hardest characters to play on this goddamn map, and or in general, okay? One thing I do not like is the fact that you do have to wind it up and or let it charge in order for you to do full impact damage. But I understand the concept of it. It's that way we don't get Black Ops 3 shit all the time where you just one-shot people in the chest and so on and so forth. But Widowmaker does have a poison, and use that to your advantage as much as possible, because either one or two things will happen, and they both give you the upper hand. Either A, they destroy it, letting you know that they're remotely close to it or about to be directly on top of it, or B, they run into it, letting you know exactly where they are and taking damage, okay? And that is probably the best part about it, is the fact that they take damage from it. And a lot of people don't use it nearly as much as they should, and I understand why. It does take a little while to get used to using. I mean, most people think that they can just whip out a sniper and go gung-ho. But the other thing about her is that if you hardscope too much, you won't be paying attention to where your enemy goes. Now, there's no radar, which, you know, obviously kind of sucks, but that's why you know, zoom in and out of your scope, or otherwise this happens. And that fucking sucks a lot. Now, obviously, you're looking at Bastion gameplay, but there's not a lot to say about Bastion. Bastion is just one of those characters that either you get lucky by posting up somewhere and they come across you and they kill themselves over, or you get lucky enough to pop your ult and close enough to fuck them in their ass. One of those two things will happen. So we're going to go back to Widowmaker for like fucking 5 seconds. It's going to be longer than 5 seconds, but whatever. Widowmaker is also one of those characters that just, it's really, really hard to, it's not hard, so to speak, it's just, she doesn't have a lot of mobility, I should say, especially when she's scoped in. Like, her sway and all that stuff kind of just, it really slows down, meaning it's hard to control her gun. So with that being said, you either have to be dead on, or who the fuck is calling me? The fucking cunts. Anyway, now that I've lost my fucking train of thought, basically Widowmaker is one of those characters that you have to use every ability to your maximum potential, okay? And that poison can save your life and or make or break a game, and I highly recommend you get used to using it. It does wonders, okay? But now we're going to switch over to Sombra, who is the newest character in Overwatch, the one that people cannot stop raving about. And honestly, she is fantastic to play, I cannot lie. And this is why I want to talk about her a little more in depth, but not as much as I would hope to, because it's so easy to get the win on this. Okay, basically you want to pop your invisible maybe 5 or 6 seconds after the game has started, and this is because it allows you to technically pop it second, meaning you'll still be invisible when somebody else does, you know, obviously loses it, and so that'll give you the upper hand. And as you can see where I had placed my fucking teleporter, and that gave me the upper hand as well because it's still in my spawn. Now I did lose the gunfight there, but it was still a close match. So when you do this, it allows you to get completely away from your fucking enemy or your opponent, and they probably do know where you're going, but again, it helps so freaking much. Now, as you can see, I was invisible second, and they popped it right out of the spawn, allowing them to get over to my spawn as quickly as possible. And I did choke there, I can't fucking lie. I choked so hard. I don't know why I decided to cloak instead of teleport. That was my bad. But again, a lot of times it comes down to an actual gunfight with Sombra. It's a little bit like Tracer, but you don't have the ability to recall. You have your teleport, which kind of gives you the same concept, except it's not the same concept. You know what I'm saying? But if you go invisible second and you use the placement of your teleporter correctly, you most likely will get the win. If you're able to sit there and be dead on with your bullets and or catch them behind their back, that is incredible. Like, I honestly don't recommend hacking the other person, simply because if you hack them, it's a bit of a waste of time, in my opinion. I do it too much simply because I'm used to playing with her in either competitive or, you know, play or fucking whatever the fuck, but hacking lets them know almost exactly where you are, letting them know that they're right fucking next to you. So basically just fucking shoot the bitch. You'd think I wouldn't have to say that, but anyway, Soldier 76. This character is literally every 13-year-old fucking Black Ops 3's favorite fucking character, because they can heal, shoot rockets, and a machine gun, and all that other shit. Like, this is literally one of the easiest characters to fucking play. But if you play him wrong, again, you will end up in a fucking gutter in no time. And what I mean by that is his Helix rockets make all the fucking difference. Like, if you can get a Helix rocket dead on, it practically kills them in one hit. If you hit him with a headshot, it obviously does. But I highly recommend having the high ground with him, simply because it's harder to shoot Helix rockets up than it is down. Obviously, all you have to do is shoot him next to him, shoot him in the foot, and it does an area of effect damage if it's close enough, and does massive damage to him, allowing you to shoot him down with that pea shooter of yours. Because honestly, let's be honest here, his fucking machine gun doesn't do a whole lot of damage unless you're hitting him in the fucking head. So, but I guess that rule can be applied to anybody, really. Like, have the high ground almost always. If you have the high ground, you have the advantage, because that means they have to shoot up towards you and you have to shoot down towards them, which means it is easier for you to run away or just simply fall back, whereas they gotta like be in your line of sight the entire time. But let's take a look at Zenyatta as well. Zenyatta is also one of those characters that is extremely hard to play, let alone in a 1v1 duel, okay? Because Zenyatta cannot heal himself, okay? Mercy can, and I think that's why I've never played Mercy on this. I don't know about, if anybody's ever played Mercy, please comment and let me know, because I've never played Mercy, or Ana, or Lucio, or any of them. But anyway, fucking Zenyatta can't heal himself, so it kind of puts him at a disadvantage when it comes to playing him, but it's honestly really fun in my opinion. The Orb of Discord, or fucking the bad one, yeah, the Discord Orb, it lets you know exactly where your opponent is at all times, as long as it's on, and that is a huge plus. It's almost like Widowmaker's fucking super. Now, I was stupid here and tried to wind up when I honestly should have sat there and just kept pelting him one by one. It definitely would have killed him, and I wouldn't have winded up dead. But that's basically what I did here in this clip. You'll see it in a second. I winded up, charged all 5 shots after getting him with the Discord, so I knew exactly where he was. And obviously with the Discord orb, you take more damage, so it is an instant fucking kill. It is honestly so much fucking fun to do this, and it works every fucking time. Sort of. But McCree, let's talk about McCree. I know my voice just cracked, but that's kind of what I wanted. McCree, on the other hand, is one of those characters that is really, really good for sniping across map, even though that's not what he was intended for. But in a way was. McCree's a fuck. That's all I know how to put it. But honestly, I would play McCree to the best of your abilities. If you can get that flashbang off and just fucking fan the hammers him, and fucking good for you. But I can never ever seem to do that. So I always win by sniping him, which again you're gonna want the high ground for, because again it's fucking incredible, you know. High ground wins every fucking time. But now we're gonna talk about this fucking monkey. Like honestly, I hate this character. I hate him for so many reasons, and one of the biggest reasons is he does almost no damage in any way, shape, or form. And when it comes to a 1v1, his drop shield is useless, like virtually useless. Now, the biggest thing about him is if you can get the first laser, lightning, whatever the fuck off, and you can hit him with your pound or your slam or whatever it is, if you can get that extra damage from that slam, you win. Like that slam, that little bit of damage that slam does makes all the difference in the world, believe it or not. Now, it is a little hard to get used to, but trust me when I say it makes all the difference. Literally all the difference, because it is an even fight in every aspect of the name, because that drop shield does nothing. It absorbs nothing because you're both shooting lightning at each other. But that drop, I don't know how much damage it does, but it does a significant amount of damage in order for you to get the win, especially since you both reload at the exact same time. And it sucks, it really does, but these are always going to be close fights. Just whatever you do not let off the trigger, do not retreat, don't do none of that. Like, it makes the slightest bit of difference, it really does. And I tend to lose this fucking fight because I fucking suck with Winston, I really do. And then when it comes to Reaper, I haven't figured this one out yet. Like, Reaper is just a matter of who gets the first shotgun off and who gets the fucking first headshot. Like, it all matters on who gets the better fucking shots. I mean, it's a fucking shotgun. It's dual wielding shotguns, and I made the mistake of doing that and I let him get those shots in when I really should have fired back sooner. And I mean, I fucking hate Reaper on this map and this game type. I really fucking do. I would honestly have to say I get lucky fucking playing Reaper. But when it comes to Junkrat, I fucking hate Junkrat too. Like, I never really liked this character. I mean, he's great for defense, and obviously he's fucking firing a mortar, which again makes you want to have the upper hand. So if you can get up top first, like this guy did to me, and then potentially push me back or push your opponent back downstairs or on the ground, that makes it so much easier. Because if you've ever noticed, it is so freaking hard to play Junkrat and fire upwards. Like, it is the hardest thing in the world to do, and that's simply because he's shooting a freaking mortar at you. Come on now. And yes, the car bombs make the biggest difference. Okay, if you can perfectly place one of those, you're clear. You're in the green. You've just fucking won, because they do so much damage, it's ridiculous. I'll even admit, I got lucky there too. But now, again, we're moving on to Reinhardt, and this is one of my favorite characters to play on this map, because if you see that little car there, that car can save your bloody life. Okay, I have found that if you stand on top of that car and the opponent or the other guy is stupid enough to stand next to it and he's trying to swing up, for whatever reason, it is harder to swing up at you than it is to swing down, and you can get an easy 2 or 3 hits in before they realize they need to back the fuck up. So with that being said, this is 9/10 of what your match is going to look like. Literally just dancing back and forth, you know, just fucking fire striking each other just to see who's gonna get close enough to let the other person shoulder charge. And I tell you right now, do not be the first to shoulder charge. Unless you are 100% certain, do not be the first to shoulder charge, because you will fucking die. Like, that's all I can say. Like, just, when you shoulder charge, this shit happens to you. You get fucking shoulder charged back and fucking thrown into a wall, and then they get the upper hand because you're fucking close enough. And yeah, do not shoulder charge unless you are 100% certain that you can hit that motherfucker, okay? Because it doesn't work out in any way, shape, or form. Every now and then you'll get lucky, but it's not very often that you do. So again, you're gonna be sitting here fucking throwing earth or fucking fire strikes at each other the entire goddamn map, and that's fine and dandy and all, but I highly recommend getting as close to your opponent as possible and making them feel as uncomfortable as possible, okay? Because I guarantee you, if you're not happy playing Reinhardt, 9 times out of 10, they're not happy playing Reinhardt, okay? And that's why everybody sits here and fucking earth shatters everybody, because nobody likes playing Reinhardt, nobody likes getting up close and personal, and nobody likes doing this kind of crap. It's just, Reinhardt is the only melee character in the game, and it sucks for everybody that doesn't know how to play him. So if you can use him to your advantage, I love Reinhardt, I really do. If you can use Reinhardt to your advantage, by all means, go right ahead. Just whatever you do, do not wait for your super to be up, okay? You'll be sitting there forever, and chances are you're gonna hit each other with your super, or he's gonna have it first by some stretch of the imagination. Like, don't do it, okay? Just have this little fucking duel of yours and fuck each other in the pussy, okay? Like, it's ridiculous, okay? I hate playing Reinhardt because nobody else knows how to fucking play him, and you sit here doing this shit all day long. And you know what? If we're gonna be sitting here talking about gay fucking characters that I do not like to play in 1v1 duels, let's go ahead and talk about Pharah. Simply because Pharah is one of those characters that does area of effect damage, and it's extremely hard to aim when you're having fucking air duels like this. Like, it really is. So, my suggestions to you all is to either A, do not be close to the ground, do not be close to the walls, do not be close to anything that your opponent can use as a backdrop to shoot you out of the sky with. Like, it does area, or fucking Pharah does area of effect damage, meaning, obviously, they don't even have to hit you directly to do damage. Granted, if you do direct damage, it does a whole lot more, but if you're sitting there next to a wall, they can pelt the wall 4 times and kill you, and it's one of those things that just kind of sucks. Now see here, I'm fucking missing every shot because I suck dick with Pharah. Like, I actually hate this character on a whole new level. I think I've won maybe 1 game with Pharah, and that's because I suicide bombed myself and just drove into the fucking enemy. And yeah, just do not be near walls. It's the best thing I can tell you, or either try and get your enemy near the walls. That is the best advice I can give you. Now, when it comes to Torbjorn, it's all a matter of who gets that turret up first and where it's positioned. So if you know a really good position, put it there. This is typically where I put my turret, simply because it's out in the open, it can easily see the enemy before they see me, and it gives me that upper hand that the enemy does not. Now, I also recommend that you use your heavy, or fucking heavy hand, your fucking armor packs whenever you get the chance, okay? They do save your life, and so will your turret. Now, I've lost as a Torbjorn 1 too many times. Like, it actually infuriates me how many times I've lost when I should have won. For instance, this right here, I probably should have charged him with a shotty or shot my shotty, but I was stupid and I fucking lost. Like, I hate playing Torbjorn, I really, really do. He just fucking sucks, but it's my personal opinion. Now, I also have come into a few matches, to say the very least, where I have found somebody that hides behind their turret the entire time. Even when the radar comes up, allowing you to see where they are, like, they just hide behind it because they have no health, and if you walk in front of it, you'll die, kind of a thing. Like, that's how people play Torbjorn, and it sucks. It really does. That's the only thing I can tell you, is that it sucks. And you gotta get the upper hand. If you can get close enough to where you can get that fucking shotty off and fucking melt them, do it. And then if you're good enough to cross map them, do that too. Like, those are the only two things I can tell you other than good fucking turret placement. Like, that is a big, if you get good turret placement, you fucking win. But unfortunately, the 1v1 duels get gayer and gayer and gayer. And I think D.Va might be the gayest they go, because obviously this bitch doesn't ever have to fucking reload. So you can sit here and literally pelt each other 50 million thousand times and you'll never win, you'll never lose, you'll come to a draw. And so my advice for this character is making it so that you kill her as soon as she gets out of the mech. And if you can't kill her as soon as she gets out of the mech, fucking throw your mech into them and then fucking kill them. Like, just fucking annihilate them. Like, I fucking hate D.Va. You don't understand. D.Va just, she grinds my gears, guys. D.Va's just that character that you need to be able to fucking get that head start or get that, I don't know, get that one push. And that one push is when they are out of their, like, fucking mech. If they're not in their mech, you can easily kill them, okay? And you need to get your mech back as soon as possible. The sooner you have it back, the more of an advantage you have. Like, that is the easiest little bit of advice that I can give you all. As you can see here, I took her down about half health and then hunted her happy ass down and got stuck on a car and then killed her. And she never got her mech back. And that's the good shit about it. Now, quickly talking about Roadhog, I suck with this character too. But I have noticed that the person that gets the first hook off typically dies first. Like, I don't know why, but they just die first. At least, that's how I see it. But then again, I fucking suck. But basically, if we're gonna talk about every single fucking character, we would honestly be here for a fucking hour and a half. Like, this video is already almost a half an hour long or 20 minutes long, okay? So what I'm gonna do is basically just leave you all with this information and do with it as you will, okay? I tried to talk about the most important characters, or I'm stuttering here. I'm trying to talk about the most important / hard to play characters, like the ones that people really have trouble playing, okay? And to talk about Zarya real quick, I don't ever pop my forced barrier until I'm so close to losing my original shield, simply because there's no point in it. Like, I mean, sure, you get a damage boost, but there's no point in it until you're ready to lose your shield, because once you lose your shield, you lose your actual health, and that is not something that you want. So, you lose your health, you're fucked. That's the simplest way I could put it, guys. And now, quickly, when it comes to Hanzo, I've seen a lot of people kill me with their scatter arrows. They just shoot it directly at me, or on the ground behind me, or the ground in front of me, and I'm dead. It's that simple. I guess the easiest route to go would be with your scatter arrows. Oreos? Cheerios. Scatter arrows. Basically, that's what I'm trying to tell you guys. But if I were to sit here and talk about every single character, I'd probably be talking for an hour and a half. Alright, I probably would. So I'm going to leave you all with one more character after Hanzo, and that's going to be Mei. When it comes to Mei, there's two ways of playing Mei, alright? You can either sit there with your icicles and try and two-shot the bitch in the head, or you can try and freeze them. And what I mean by that is, obviously, when you get so close, you're able to throw out your primary attack, which is your freezing ability, allowing them to be stunned in place for, I think it's like 2 seconds, down from like 3 or 4. But you stun them in place, maybe for a second, and what that does is it allows you to get an icicle in the face, which means you'll kill them, because once you've sat there and you've hit them with your freeze ability enough, they do take damage, and once they take damage, they're close to death, and an icicle to the face will be exactly what you need in order to kill them. They'll be at like maybe 75-60% health, and that's perfect for one icicle. But the problem with that is, obviously, when you get within range, they get within range. So if you get within range and they get within range, you're both going to try and freeze each other. So in order to prevent like freezing each other, what I always do is pop my little barrier, my little icicle thing, allowing me to heal up, okay? And obviously you gain health from this, and that's what everybody wants. But what it also does is it drops your stacks, allowing you to do what I just did. Alright, those are the only two methods I can give you, and I use that last one specifically all the time because it's the best route to go in my personal opinion. Like, I honestly love using Mei for that specific reason. And before I go, I do want to say with Genji, the best thing to do is dash. Dash them 50 million times, dude. Like, it's the best thing to do. It gets you so much of their health down, and it kills them, and you don't have to worry about deflecting or anything like that. But this brings me to the end of my video, guys. I hope you all enjoyed, and if you did, please leave a like, subscribe for more content. I will be coming out with more of this as much as possible. My name is Mr. Fool 86, and I will catch you all next time.